This is Zach Roth for TPM Media. It's Wednesday, January 28th, 2009. When the Bernie Madoff scandal broke last month, we kind of had a hunch that there had to be other similar cases out there of investment advisors who had set up Ponzi schemes or other scams like that to rip off their investors. And sure enough, recently we've seen a whole spate of mini-Madoffs, as they're being called. Let's run down the list. We've seen Marcus Schrenker, the Indiana financial advisor accused of ripping off his clients for $250,000. Schrenker apparently set up an elaborate plan to fake his own death in a plane crash, even radioing a fake call for distress before parachuting to safety. We've also got Arthur Nadel, who was accused of defrauding his investors for $300 million. Nadel was arrested by the FBI yesterday after going on the lam for 2 weeks. He had allegedly written a note to his wife saying, "Withdraw as much cash as you can." His lawyer tried to explain the going on the lam thing by saying he went away for a while just to be alone. There's more. Robert Brown of California is accused by the SEC of using his investors' money to pay for the upkeep of his Ferrari and for a limousine service, among other things. Anthony James of Florida, said by the SEC to have set up a Ponzi scheme in which he swindled investors out of $2 million, which he used to pay for a 6-bedroom house, a Porsche, and season tickets to the Miami Heat. Darren Palmer of Idaho, who's being investigated by state authorities after investors claim he conned them out of $100 million in another Ponzi scheme. Nicholas Cosmo of Long Island, who raised over $370 million from investors after promising them a 48% return. You'd think they might have had questions about that one. He surrendered to authorities this week. Joseph Forte of Philadelphia, said by the SEC to have been running a Ponzi scheme since at least 1995, raising $50 million by promising returns of 38%. In fact, the Wall Street Journal found that in last year, the SEC investigated 50% more Ponzi schemes than it did the previous year. And for 2009, it's already on pace to top the 2008 number. So, why are all these mini-Madoffs sprouting up now? Well, the reason Madoff was exposed was that because of the financial crisis, a lot of his investors wanted to withdraw their money all at the same time. That meant Madoff no longer had enough money from new investors to pay back all the people who wanted out. So the fact that the money was missing was revealed. And that's exactly what seems to have happened in many of these other cases of mini-Madoffs. So it's kind of like when the tide washes out and you see the debris that's left on the beach. When the economy collapses, it exposes some of the more unsavory schemes that went undetected during boom times. And it's not a pretty sight. This is Zach Roth for TPM Media, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Mini-Madoffs, and that word will probably be in the dictionary by next year.